And here we are again. Welcome back to the Friday painting stream. I'm actually working on the monthly art request for this month. I think Carrie Dwyn was the only one that entered, so automatic wins to her. Hello there, Zarlark. So she wanted this character done. I did her once before, this Tanith character, but it was at like this random time period that may not come to pass. Like, it was just like a weird alt universe type thing. I have mixed feelings. I feel like I could have done the outfit better. I kind of was just rushing because I do these last minute, and I really shouldn't. I really should learn to do them in the middle of the month. So with this one, I know the details around it. It's more concrete, so I was able to come up with a better concept for that moment in time for that character. I feel a little bit better about this one. And I had fun stylizing the face and everything, the cartoonish version of it. Where in some facial positions, depending on how they look, I can't like just really get into it and really just enjoy it as much as others. I don't know. Me and faces. So we're working on this because I need to get it done for y'all for tomorrow. We're just going to be doing the line art. I have the main, actually what I should do real quick. I'll show you. This is the concept that I had come up with for her. And I might be tweaking the colors a little bit, but this is generally what it looks like. And so we're just creating some cleaner line art, and then laying in the colors and doing some little minor tweaks. It's pretty simple. And this time you'll get a clean PSD file. Because the last one was very much my organizational skills at its finest. Which is to say very messy. So, let's get to it. Luckily, this was the last thing I was working on in Photoshop, so my brush is exactly how I want it. Which is always appreciated. I really wish, and I don't practice it, and I'm kind of not forcing myself to practice it to really actually get better, but I can still complain and wish. I wish that I was better at those long strokes that you can see artists do, like that full control, long line, sweeping line. I am so bad at that. These short lines are where it's at for me. I remember vividly, there was a moment in my childhood when I was drawing, who knows what, I was like 4 or 3 years old. It was when I was young. My mom showed me something. Again, I forget what the content was, but it was essentially, she drew a straight line. And I'm like, how do you get the line so straight? And she was the one, and I mean, she's an artist, a little bit different than I, because she does more painting work and stuff. But she was just like, well, you do little tiny lines, and it adds up to one big smooth line. And that's really where I learned this technique in drawing of like the little short lines, and you just slowly build up to a smoother, thicker line. It's all because of her. And I don't know why, but I vividly remember that one. I also remember one of my first art techniques learned from my mom. She did I had showed her some writing, and she had written something on the piece of paper. It was in the margins of it. And I'm like, how did you fit that there? It was like magic to me. I'm like, it's so small. How'd you do that? And I don't remember what it was, the advice that she actually ended up giving me. But I remember her explaining how you can make things really small. Because I was just like this little young kid, and I was just blown away at the idea, handwriting wise, that you could do something like, instead of an N, you could do like a little tiny one. Yeah, I kind of wish I remembered the specific advice for that one. Because I have the memory of the thing occurring, but I don't remember the actual dialogue. First half of this image, I was just trying to, you know, quickly get it done. But normally on my own time when I'm doing stuff like this, I'll either pump a lot of music that vibes well with what I'm doing. So like if I'm doing a specific illustration, it will, like the sound will reflect what the mood's supposed to be. If it's just something that doesn't really have a mood, then I'm gonna try to like have it light and soft and fluffy to keep me in a good mood. But sometimes when it's stuff that I really know what I'm doing and I don't really have to think too hard, I'll be watching shows in the backgrounds. And I was for the longest time watching Star Trek and going through that. I still am. I'm on Deep Space Nine, but still going through that one. I think that's the last one though, because I've gone through all the others. But I've taken a little bit of a break from that to watch Xena, the warrior princess. And it was pretty bad if like you, because I'm still in the first season, and the first episode was horrendous watching it because the voice acting, the acting, it was just all so terrible. But coming back to it and having it on in the background while you work, it actually seems much more professional and polished because you're not looking. It's funny. And it's really interesting to see, like, these are very empowered women, but then also like the TV tropes of the time and like just like the social culture of the time, while also being like a pretty gritty TV show, a pretty dark and straight up TV show for the 90s, early 2000s. So it's just really fascinating, is my comment. Also, hello Hendris. Returned home, not drunk yet, but certainly tipsy. I brought up to Ob about a drunk fest. And I don't know if I want that there. I think that'll ruin the shape. And he did not give me a definitive answer about it being a drunk fest tonight or not. So I could maybe drink a little bit, but I don't know, like it's Minecraft, so I kind of don't want to get like drunk playing Minecraft, but I could certainly bring some alcohol to the party. But I don't know if it's actually gonna be a drunk fest. It will not be if Andrew's not getting drunk. It'll be a casual alcohol fest. I've asked him. As far as I know, he just hasn't given an answer because he's too lazy to buy some hard stuff. Yeah. This is true, though. I've known him long enough where I can kind of pick up on that being the case. It's like, I don't want to pay money. And I mean, I get that. I would probably be way more conservative if I didn't have like essentially a free source to alcohol. Not that I would be using my parents' wine at the moment because I've got some of my own, like, I don't know if I have any more shoju left, but I know I have a bunch of sake, so I would be using that. And potentially smearing it everywhere because that is a legitimate problem last Drunk Fest. It's funny, like how ungraceful I can be sometimes. I remember in high school, it was some kind of, I don't even know what the class was, but it wasn't related to like any kind of mental health or like happiness stuff. It was like economics or something. But the teacher wanted us to write notes. We got a random person in the class that we had to write something that we admired about them. And I mean, we didn't know everybody all that well, to be honest. Like, some people we knew better than others. Some people were like complete strangers. They sat on the other side of the room. We did not care. And the one person wrote about me that I hardly ever talked to. I didn't really know the guys. And, like, I mean, I knew his name and that was about it. And he was like, "You're so graceful." I'm like, what? What, mate? Just put up a good front. It's fine. I mean, I actually probably do. When people get to know me, though, it all just comes crashing down. Are you on Discord? Do you want to test something for me? The server. I can only suggest He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I read that. I'm like bouncing all over this chat. The elephant in the glass shop. I mean, I'm more like the bunny, I'd say, in a glass shop. Where I mean well, but then I'll just like make a mess of things. But not because I'm like moving around slow. Like, I'm thinking more bunny because it's like spastic movements. Where like I could easily be graceful if I wanted to be. And I could be graceful if I tried, but then it's just like I can't. I just can't. Elephant like, you can't move. You think I'm graceful, and then you find out the hard truth. Spastic movement, so panic. Kind of, yeah. Except spastic doesn't have to have panic. It can just be, I forgot that my body moves that fast. Or I have lost coordination. It's like clumsy, only a little bit more energetic. Sleep mod work and is on 50%. I'm not sure I parsed that sentence correctly. Gonna be honest. Yeah. That looks pretty good. You and Ob are playing You Sleep the Day Chance. Sleep mod works and is on at 50%. Oh, I get it. If at least 50% of the players currently on the server are sleeping, the night will be skipped. I understand now. I think that's pretty fair. It's kind of like majority vote. If more people want to stay up, then you stay up. If more people want to sleep, then you'll sleep. But if it's only 2 players, and one is sleeping and one is awake, it's a 50% chance whether one will happen or the other. And couldn't you just keep spamming your bed until eventually it worked? And then you will sleep. Ah, okay. This is gonna work out really well for Odd because it just enables him to be lazy. I mean, lazy about sleeping anyway. Let's word it this way. It's like, make it make logical sense for everyone. Cool. Ah, yes, the new IP. So, it's updated to 1.13.1, right? Like, the server supports our file now, and we can load it, and everything's good. Most recent version of Minecraft. Sweet. That was quick. I thought it was gonna take a few days. Alright, well, I guess that means that we'll be playing on the new server tonight. Better make sure Abba has an invite as well and is able to get on. And he's a good boy. Servers are surprisingly fast. The file that dictated the version is the jar, and the world folder contains the world with all the stats and so on. A very good boy, I know. It's true, though. We'll post in Discord. Oh, yeah! That's a good idea. So everyone that was using the realm. I'll have to poke Bear Chaser to make sure that he knows. We'll probably be on Saturday night at some point. Because that's when we meet up to game. And Minecraft or Overwatch are probably going to be the things we play. Send it private to Ob just in case. Do it. curve just right to express a character. Or their limbs. Just like lines that carry that kind of data in a very succinct manner. It's hard to explain. So how's the new server so far? I assume for right now it seems pretty darn stable compared to what we've been dealing with. From what I've seen, it's very good. I added some memory to it so we can add mods later. Oh, you can do that? Or you have to pay extra for like that extra power. Yes. I figured. It's kind of funny how the third party knows how to handle Minecraft servers better than Minecraft itself. And Minecraft totally has enough of a budget, of a foundation to be able to offer realms that actually are good. It kind of boggles my mind that the uptime is that bad and they're so restrictive. It's like they don't want to make extra cash. It's a little more, but it's not that bad. That's good. I mean, I think it makes sense though. You're paying a little bit more, but you're getting like better features too. Yeah, those feats are kind of lame. Feet. There we go. Yeah, it's been one of those days. I'm just stumbling over my own tongue. I need to work on toes. Feet movement in general. I would go talking to Bill. Be right back. Yes, price is good for what you get. Yeah. Sometimes when you want to get like the right sizing, it's easier to just turn that old rough off. It just helps. Less distracting and all that. That's because the third parties have been in business for way longer than the Minecraft realms. The realms themselves only exist since 2014, 15. Well, that's fair, but I think that's hardly a good enough excuse because Minecraft, they make their product, they produce it, but they're also like aware of their community and what their community's doing. Any good business would do that. And if they were going into the venture to have servers that they allow people to rent and use, like they do, the realms, I imagine they would have done some research first as well. And they would come to the conclusion of what would maximize their profits. And it just seems really silly that those servers are prone to all of this upset and stuff when they certainly have enough financial support to not have that problem. I think part of me is a cynic and is like, well, Microsoft bought it, they want it to be more Windows 10, so they don't want to support Java all that well, so people will just move over to their Windows 10 version. So why should we offer a good server system? The other part of me is that, like, well, sometimes companies can be really stupid, and maybe they thought this was going to be a good idea and they just can't handle it for whatever reason. They're just incompetent. Because after the whole Bethesda paid mods fiasco, or with Steam and everything, I just am like, sometimes companies really don't actually understand what they're seeing. They're seeing one thing and they're trying to interpret it with like capitalism and they're just failing. But the other part of me is like, it's not brain surgery. You just have a server warehouse that you like let people rent space on. People have been doing that since the dawn of time. We don't see their website being broken every 2 seconds. So that's on a server that seems to work really nicely. Alright, that looks pretty good. Might add more lines to the hair. I generally like to do that. So might as well see how it looks. Oops. We don't want to move that, we want to move this. Okay. hand's not gonna work. Let's move this a little bit. Nah, doesn't need it. Okay, let's draw that hand. This awkward hand. Originally, she was showing a little bit more skin in this. You can see in the PDF when you download. Because I start with the body base and then I'll add clothing and hair. The way she is right now, the way this character is, it's like she just got transformed into a human being from being like a lion or something. So she had just like a jacket that was just given to her to like cover yourself. And I had it like a zipper jacket, and I'm like, you know what, nah. It's more sci-fi. You can't just have a regular old jacket that we're used to seeing all the time. It needs to look a little bit foreign. And then it just ended up, she was covered up. But the original design looked much more current. Oops. That doesn't look good. I'm still not totally satisfied with this hand, but it should do. Awkwardly. Very awkwardly. Oop. Gonna do this again. I'm gonna fiddle with it and I'm not gonna be satisfied. Whatever. Whatever. Layer. Oh. Layer merge down. Yeah, that's really nice doing, well, almost anything, but the line art. If there's something that I just want to get drawn out and it's on top of something, or it's something that I know that I want to maybe free transform, tweak the proportions of, change it around. It's nice to have it on the separate layer to just hash it out. So it makes it much, much easier to not only draw it out, but sometimes even incorporating it into the image. You can erase intersecting lines with much more finesse. We're gonna try, I'm just gonna back this up. I'm gonna try to grab this, copy it, paste it in place, and I'm just gonna bring it down. Because there's just a dark strip here. And this way, I'll have it lined up more or less correctly. This slopes more here than here. Just a little bit asymmetrical. Which is questionable. Do something like that. Her leg is coming out more here. This fabric could be a little bit thinner than this fabric, so you can have more of that sway to it. It's a little bit wiggly. But I think I can get away with it. And at the very least, you can chalk it up to being like, oh, it's alien, so it's like slightly asymmetric, just enough to make you angry. But yeah, I probably should make this a little bit thicker here. Move this over. But oh well. Is it oh well? It is bothering me. Doing pretty good on time. I think that's fine. So our line art is done. And now we're gonna go into our rough thumb, and I'll use this color as a base. We're gonna select around our line art and then select inverse. And oh, I don't know exactly what my line thickness was kind of like variable throughout this whole thing. But I think if we go in like a pixel, let's see. Oh. Maybe. Might want to go in 2. It's kind of pushing it in some areas though. We'll see what 1 pixel looks like here. That should make it look crisp. Let's make a new layer. Paint bucket. We can look at our silhouette for a second here. It's pretty memorable, which is nice. I love having a iconic silhouette. Something that tells the character's personality or the type of character it is with just that one detail. I'm saving my points, so feel free to yawn away. Do you want another doodle? Oh man. Okay. I think it's kind of hard to see where there's bleed over with this color. So I'm just gonna try to make it a little bit more obnoxious. Just go around, make sure there's no glaring issues. Oh, like in here. My eraser does not have pressure sensitivity, which is good. I want it to be a nice clean erasure. Also, I need a favor, but I will send you a PM on Discord. Oh my. Get these claws here. Alright, looks pretty good. So we're gonna make a new group and call it colors. And we're gonna take this and mask our colors folder. Make a new layer. And we'll just use this color as our base. Continue to do that because that way I'll be able to see if I don't fully color something really easily. Because there will be some gold in there. Let's just call that base. Now, we have a few colors here. I'm just going to make a palette and just throw them up so that I can easily get to them later. It's a fairly simple color scheme. I like to do as much as possible with a limited amount of colors. Oh, my paintbrush is on the opacity thing, so I'm just gonna redo these to make sure that they're the richest version of themselves. But yeah, not having to deal with a whole bunch of colors is kind of my goal. Being minimalistic, being succinct, telling as much as you can with a limited amount of data. Oh, that is real close. Okay. We're gonna put that gray right here. And I think I have two tones I'm dealing with here. We have this yellow. And a darker, muddier. It's kind of subtle though, what I'm picking. Ah, it should be good enough. Those are her colors. So now we can just turn the rough off because it's pretty much good to go. We'll start with skin first. Did I have that capitalized? Nope. There we go. Get the shirt done. There we go. Let's clean this up. Turn flow off too. Want this to be as well, just a straight up color. I don't want there to be any blending modes on, so remembering to turn off opacity and flow, pressure sensitivity is kind of important, and making sure you're on a brush that doesn't do that as part of its preset. Something I might have to turn off the shirt layer to do the hair because they're so similar. I'm afraid that I'll not see the full coverage that I'm doing. That's good. And this is pretty easy. Oof. Sorry, that was my neck. I'm still alive. For now. The dark stuff next. We need to get this as well. Go up here and do this thing. And this color was originally like very much black, but when I was doing the rough, I really, it bothered me that I couldn't see on the skirt the black lines, the actual line art. So I changed this to this color. I may tweak it in the last stages to be more of a black color. I just want to have this line art, I think, here visible so you can tell what's up. And having something that looks black but it's not absolute black is kind of what I would like to go for. So someone can look at the color and be like, that's black, but it's not actually black. Having no absolute blacks or no absolute whites. I've said it before, it's a good thing to try to live by when you're doing art, because then you can add in a bright light or a sparkle in the eye, or have those darker areas, little tiny details really look tremendously dark like the void, or so bright like the sun. and that's because you have other colors in the illustration, whatever, that look like they're black or they're white or they're gray or they're whatever, but they're sneakily not. They just look right to the eye. Or like using cooler tones when you're working on something, just slight color shifts, so that way when you have, let's say the sun as an example again, and you want to have like it feel warm, you do that trick of having the rest of the image rendered as is, and then you have like a blue filter on top, like a very slightly blue shifted filter, or you work with the colors themselves to be slightly towards the bluer part of the spectrum. It just makes the sun that much warmer just by virtue of what colors they're next to. And doing little magic tricks with your color like that, you can really get some impressive results. Plus, never working with absolute whites, or, well, never working with absolute whites is just good for your eyes also in general. Be kind to your eyeballs. The only place for the green that I can be no, I can't really even. There's very few areas that I can be sloppy with green, so I might as well just be nice. Just paint it all nice and pretty, zoomed in. I'm learning more in Livestream than 4 semesters worth of design. Well, there you go. I mean, to be fair though, I also learned a lot more just from watching people doing the work and kind of explaining their process, and also experimenting myself and using Google, than I ever really did in the traditional classroom sense. Because, I don't know, college, I mean, maybe it works differently in certain areas, but my college experience, it was really awkward because I was being taught by someone who didn't really know what they were doing with digital art very much. So I think that's like a atypical case. But with some of the other teachers, like they were just kind of telling you what to do, and they weren't really showing you. They weren't really showing their workflow and what they've done to try to get to that level. They may be still active in the field. Some of them were not, and you could tell. But it was just like, this is the curriculum that I came up with, rather than like, this is my wisdom that I passed to you. So no, it's a mixed bag. But yeah, I definitely personally learn much more just watching someone doing the work. Well, different people. Should always look at everyone else's techniques, like over a broad spectrum. That's another bit of advice. Don't just look at one person. Definitely look at all the different artists, because we all come up with our own techniques. And although we learn from other people, sometimes it's just like, I learned this, it works for me, this is what I've always done, and I never thought to try something different. And then there's another artist that's doing it a different way that's actually much more efficient, you know? It also depends on your workflow too, of like what you're doing, but in general, you can even cross-apply some things. It's pretty fascinating stuff, trying to optimize through all of the people that have learned before you. I was taught by someone who just didn't care anymore. And our new cool professor had lots of stuff to do, right? There you go. Yeah, you need someone who's passionate in their job and their work. Definitely. That also shows. Okay, time for hair. And this one will be the one that I cannot be messy with whatsoever. Because it's on top. But yeah, I love this method of painting with the layers like this, because you can be messy and then slowly get detailed with it. Saves a lot of time. And even if you have to have all the colors on one layer at the end, at the start you can do this and just speed things along. Also being mindful of your brush size to try to maximize that. Getting the quick paint done. There's sometimes that I just don't follow my own advice, but today I'm kind of in the zone where I am trying. Gonna turn the shirt off so I get some really good contrast going for the hair paint. Okay. Now we're gonna make a bit smaller brush, zoom in a little bit. Always gotta be thankful when I flip my pen to erase, because I still remember my first tablet where I did not have an eraser, and it was a pain, like how I kind of robotically resize the canvas by going over to the navigator here. I could learn to use my scroll wheel for that, but I really just use that for extra control on my brush size. And I don't like having to do button combinations to change that to add more variety. So I just use the navigator, and I got like that with the switching between the brush and the eraser on the toolbar, like not even actually looking, but just kind of knowing where I need to go. Because that tablet didn't have any buttons on it either. It was just, this is your pen, this is the spot where you draw, and you have pressure sensitivity, you're welcome. I think it didn't even, like, the drivers never got updated either because it was off-brand. Oops. So it only kind of worked pressure sensitivity wise up until like maybe Vista. I'm not super certain about that. And then after that it was like I still function as a pen, but there's no pressure sensitivity, so what's the point? Our line work is a little bit dirty here. I'm just gonna erase those lines. Also, pro tip to clean your screen often, because sometimes you'll think there's a dot there, and it's just because your screen's dirty. It's not because there's a weird pixel. finish this before 5 o'clock. Because really the most time-consuming part is figuring out exactly how you want everything to look, the sketch, and then doing the line work, the clean line work. The rest of this is pretty smooth sailing, at least as far as how I feel about it. So, I mean, we might be able to make this last, but I'm not sure. There's our base colors. Save, have some tea. This hand almost looks a little bit bigger than this one, but I've already colored, so. I was thinking that before too, and I was thinking, nah, it's fine. The more I look at it, I'm like, Because it seems like the fingers would be longer on this hand than they are here. And I'm not quite sure, I think this hand might be a little bit too small for the facial proportions and the feet. Especially if you look at the feet. The hand just looks a little bit too small. But you could, I mean, I guess I could push that with shading to make it look like it's further away, but one of those things, just one of those things. Your perfectionism, it's a non-issue. I mean, but it's always good to keep yourself aware of that. Proportion at all times and make sure that it's legit. Because it keeps you sharp with noticing those kind of things and trying to keep everything balanced. I actually think I'm just gonna see what the hand looks like a little bit bigger. It's not that hard to edit our color. Boop, boop, boop. It is a bit better. Yep. We're gonna fix that. See, now we'll reach the 5 o'clock zone. Oops. I've got to be on black for this. Also turning opacity and flow back on. This out a little bit more. Make sure that this is it feels as wide as this one does. Loose. go. Now that feels better. When you look at the hand and then look at the foot, it just feels more balanced. Yeah, alright. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Just for the BSD file. Okay, so we're going to turn our colors back on and we're going to edit our mask here. So we're going to come in here and Zorlark, oh my goodness. Thank you for the resubscription. I appreciate it. So appreciate the Skyrim level up noise. I think it was level up. I don't know, I'm listening to some Korean pop music and it's just much louder. I did edit those notifications to not be so obnoxiously loud, so. And the beauty is, because the way this mask works, and I was going on to the different sections and coloring them, with the skin, I just blobbed down a bunch of this color. So being able to edit the mask, you still have the color here. I was just able to remask it and you have a huge blob of skin color. So there's like plenty of bleed room. Same for here, I think. And we'll just go back into the shirt. And we'll paint around the hand. And then we're done. And it just took 2 seconds. It was not that bad. And now we can look at our rebalanced hand with color. And be proud of the work we have done so far. Now, on to the next section. Eye white, which is very gray in actuality. But it looks white enough. Also put lips down here. Pick it up over here. I'll turn the opacity and flow back on for this part so it can be a little bit smoother. Bright yellow and our darker yellow. More bright yellow here. And our darker yellow is just at the top of the eye here to give it that depth. That looks really nice. The bottom part of the eye is usually the light part. And the upper part of the eye is the darker part. I mean, in just like average lighting, if you go with different kind of lights, it gets all sorted and different. But yeah. Okay. We just added a little bit of shade to the eye, even though we haven't shaded the rest of the whole image, but I did it anyway, just because that's something that even if you don't have a shaded image and it's just flat color, having the two-tone eye is usually something that just ends up looking pretty good. Is something you want to do. Okay, so we did our colors. I'll get rid of the palette. My logo can go somewhere. I guess here. Now, what I want to do with the line art is lock these both. Turn one of them off. We're going to make one of these I think about that color. Turn opacity and flow off. Just get all that done. Okay. Well, there's been a sound. Max DPS4 Gamer, thank you for the host. I'm glad you appreciate my stuff. We'll do 40. Bring our black one up. Do overlay. Bring it down a little. I think that's pretty good. The hair and the shirt are gonna need different color though. Actually, what I should do is level adjust this. Zarlark! My goodness. Thank you. So I'm trying to do some really dirty, quick and easy line art coloring, but it doesn't always work very well for everything. You're always gonna have to go in and edit stuff. Because that's just the nature of the beast. can change the color of this. Go for a warmer color. Whoa, that is way too zoomed out. Alright. I'll do, I'll work with that. Probably rename these to be a little bit more, to make more sense to someone. That, this will be 1 because it's on the bottom. This will be 2. There. Maybe that'll make sense. Just thought you lost all of your work for a sec? I would be heckin' sad is what I'd be. Feeling like this is not gonna work out well for me. Just using this method. Oh, screw it. Yeah. Having to deal with 2 of these layers and then doing color tweaks is kind of annoying. It's gonna slow me down a little bit. Don't like it. Oh, you know what I could do? Let's try this. Oh no, because this one is overlaid, right? So it's not gonna give me the pure color. Yeah, it's... Dang it. Yeah, can't do that. Oh, wait a minute. But now if I wanted to edit anything, it's gonna be even harder. If I wanted to edit the line art, then I have to deal with all of these layers. So it's more like this is locked down. This is what it is. Can't really edit it very easy. So it'd probably be easier to work with just the one line art layer and just color as needed. And we have to go back into color too, because there's areas here that are gonna need some help. But it does save some time though, more or less, I guess. Like, yes. At the very least, doing coloring like this, I can erase really easily. And not have to worry about jumping between different colors. At the moment, anyway. Irritating. There we go. Another slight problem with doing this method is that you can see the darker lines on the outside of this rather than it being fully colored. Like if I had that actual layer that I was painting onto, you wouldn't have that incomplete color that you're getting here. I'm gonna make the eyebrows a little bit darker. Because of her skin tone. Like I want them to be darker than her hair, but at the same time they're gonna start blending into her skin. I think that's pretty much it. It's what you're gonna get. Because you also have to think about it in terms of black and white. Why it looks like it kind of is blending in to the skin. It's because they're on the same light dark. I don't know how to really explain it very well. At least I think this is the way my brain is interpreting things. That palette, if we go back to this layer and I try to go for that darker eyebrow, like it's just closer to that same kind of gray when you go to grayscale, and it has a blending effect where it just becomes harder to see. But if you have more of brightness, it's much easier to see, both in black and white and in color. So, yes, if that makes any sense. That's why I like to look at things in black and white while I'm working, to make sure that I have the brightest colors, or the richest stuff, the stuff that I want the person to focus on. Generally, you have the lighter colors there. If you're dealing with like a darker haired character or darker skin and stuff, you can add more saturation, which gives that brightness to it. I sometimes put a bloom on the character's face to draw you to the character's face first, if that's where I want you to look. And in color, it just looks a bit more saturated, or it's a very soft glow. But when you look at it in black and white, you'll see that that's the brightest spot. It's another thing. Random bit of advice. Okay, I was gonna do the shirt as well. I think I'll do that on a separate layer too, since I'm doing this method, just because it makes it easier to erase things. And having it, you know, separate, it's just, yeah, easier to erase. Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Green could use some work too. And the skin. I might as well just paint everything. And then do those techniques at the very end, because I'll be adding shading and everything else. Though I've been really digging that method that I've been using recently where I flatten everything and I do the lights and the darks. It makes it really easier, because before I would do the line art and then I would be doing the shading and then I'd have to go back to make sure the line art is the most dark, and you end up with like this back and forth issue. With the current way of shading that I've been doing now, everything gets darkened and lightened the same amount, so. But I am digging this random thing, because I don't normally do it this way, but like this is actually unexpectedly helpful at doing things one at a time. And then I'm planning on just merging the line art layers after I finish this. Because it's always like itching back and forth, color this, color this, color that. Now I can just erase. It's great. The only problem is cleaning up these lines later. Yeah, well. I don't really have to clean. I don't have to make sure that this is perfect line art, since this is just a quickie monthly art thing. If I was really concerned with keeping the line art super clean, then we'd be having issues, but at that point I'd probably be using pen tool and everything else. I'm probably doing paint overs as well, to be honest. So at a certain point then I just start painting. And it's all in one layer. And then it takes forever, as we're all aware. I don't know why this line isn't showing up as clearly as it should. So even though it's the wrong layer, I'm just doing it anyway. Sue me. Okay. And now we just gotta do the skin. Make sure I'm on the layer and not on the mask. That's helpful. much different down here by the white. Whoop. It's actually pretty subtle. I think I'm also going to double up on this layer and fix her eyes. Because right now they've got red pupils. That's not really correct. There we go. Make the nose a little bit darker here because it's a hole in her head. So I might want to soften the nose a little bit more. I'm just gonna get the rest of the skin done. Soften this. Gonna make the lids a little bit darker because they need to stand out a little bit more. And the nose needs to be even lighter. That's what I figured. Let's take that and we just want to do that. It kind of works. I didn't do the ear, did I? I did, but it's not. Just a little bit too dark against the hair. Okay, that's pretty good. Could fiddle a little bit more with that color-wise, but no. Make a duplicate of this. Can I merge these layers down without any repercussions? of... I'll have to edit her face again. But that looks okay. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Oh, right. I need to lock the transparency on this. Oh boy. Now it'll be a little bit more color accurate, so that'll make me feel better. So that's much softer, which is what I was kind of hoping for. So I'm gonna soften the inside of the ear a little bit. Okay, good, good. Oh, I want just save. What's it say? That's me that is leaving just before the stream ends. But have a great day, Muse. Thanks for tips and tricks. I might join you later for the Chill Fest. There is work tomorrow, so not sure yet. Alright, Zarlark, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the tip as well. And the resub, right? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, let's wrap this up. It's close to the end of the stream. I could fiddle around with this for days, but... So we got our colors done, we got our line done. Gonna make a new group on top of it. Shade. Actually, we'll do it below. This is gonna be just the basic, shading stuff before we do the actual lights and darks. Or do I want to, I mean, do I want to do it my old school way or really knuckle down the new way? We'll do it. We'll do a hybrid. We'll do what I'm comfortable with today. Actually, do I want to? Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna do some stuff with her face because I want to. Sorry, not sorry. gonna put down the opacity and the flow into the 50s lower range. Oh, that's the problem. I didn't turn off the pressure sensitivity for the brush size. I was like, why is it doing weird things? That's why. It is bleeding into other areas, and I will have to deal with that shortly. But right now I'm just coloring it out. I'm on eraser. It's like, why is this not working? That's why. Another layer, and this one will also be on color. That's definitely more subtle. This is definitely more colorful. I think I'll stick with subtle. Oh. There we go. Just adds a little bit. And we're also gonna do a new layer right over the skin layer. Actually use the lips as a base again. I'm gonna bring this. I was moving it up because I was like, it's on his shirt, why is it not displaying? That's because it's on the wrong one. There we go. We got our shading on the shirt. We have some face shade going on. Blue looks better. We'll also do one for the skirt. It's like really simple, kind of cheesy shading, but it really works nice. Do a little bit from the side here. From this angle, and then from this angle. I want to get kind of a curve going. I guess that works. From here, we just darken this up a little. We'll give it a touch of color. And at this point, what we need to do is go back to our line color and just edit this real quick. We grab this blue, we get a darker color, and we do our line work. It might even need to be a little bit darker than that. And then what we can do is the last little thing. One more layer, also on top of this dark layer. We grab this dark blue, and we're gonna make a little bit darker. It needs to be even darker than that. Oh man. Saturate it a little bit. Bring down the brightness a little bit more. Yeah, okay, that's why. My opacity was shit and my flow. I forgot to turn those back up. Okay, so now things will act correctly. Let's go back to our normal brush. Now I can see a dramatic difference. The liner also will need to get probably edited. Although, doing this pretty much does the job of changing the line art color. To be fair. But we will go back and we'll just affix the outs. So darken it a little bit, bump the saturation a little, paint the lines. Oops. Dang it. Much better. So you just have to keep track of where all your settings are at any given time, because I was like, why the frick is this not working right? It's like, oh, that's why. And we're gonna put on our opacity and flow again, because we need to blend this. And saturate, darken. No. Darken, saturate. Just fix this line again. trying to get the color again is sometimes a total bitch. Or it's not like a lighter version of itself because you're painting on line art that's not completely clean. So you could end up with a diluted version, which looks fine when you're painting, but if you're going from one color to another, you could end up with a wrong tint. Okay. So there we go. That generally works for me for shading, where I don't have to do the fancy new way. Though I will add a little bit to the hair. Not that it really needs it, but it'll add that brightness I was talking about. So we select that. The saturation's on the warmer side. I'm actually gonna see if I can go with a cooler color. Probably gonna have to edit that a little. Also gonna go with a round highlight. Oh shoot, I did forget about there are certain details to her skin, so that I'll have to deal with later. And her hair, to be fair. So I will have to do a little bit of adjustment. So this won't get completely finished in time for the stream end, but I think that's pretty good. So that gives us that little bit of brightness that you can see here in the black and white, where you get the bright point at her hair. So that's that reflection to it. That does lead you to the face. The face is a little bit dark. It's true. I could brighten it a little bit, but since she's hiding in her hair, it's like, can live with it. Going past my time because I'm gonna be working on this anyway. It's like, I'm doing what I'm doing. Grab this line color. Can fix this as well a little bit. Just clean it up. But yeah, the highlight. That's where we go absolute white and see what we got. Eye highlight is above the line work. This gives us a nice little pop. Not too much. Don't want to go overboard with it, but that gives us a little bit of brightness to the eyes. A little bit of life. Just adding shine where you would normally. I'm gonna change this eye highlight to just highlights in general, because that's what they are. Oops. No, it's not gonna. But yeah, it's not gonna work for me. That's better. So it separates the highlight from the low light, which the line is simulating. Okay. I think this is a good spot to end it here. I'll just be throwing on the last facial details and we'll be done. And I can finish rendering the vlog and have everything ready by tomorrow. So there we go. Here's our character. Oh, I also should add shade so she's like standing on something, but you know. Thank you so much for hanging around, sticking to the end, and anyone else who had shown up, anyone who's gonna watch the VOD in the future. Thank you. Spread the word if you like the stream, because it helps the channel grow. You can check out the Discord if you have not, and you can check out the events tab on this Twitch channel to know what we'll be streaming next. I guess Chillfest is on for later tonight, and there may be some alcohol, but it won't be a drunk fest. So there you go. You know, maybe one day. Thanks again. Big thank you to Zarlark for the tip. I really appreciate it. And the resub. And MaxCPS for Gamer for the host. Thank you. If there's something that you liked or disliked about the stream, you can click the stream feedback links in either the Twitch info panel or on the Discord to let me know. And as always, from my heart to yours, good luck.